Welcome to Heidi Relationships. Today, we'll read some more stories from Reddit. But before we start, I would really appreciate if you could subscribe to the channel, like the video if you enjoyed it, and maybe leave a comment down below. That would help the channel a lot. Thank you very much in advance.
The first one is titled, My Wife, 26, Keeps Cheating on Me, 26, and Doesn't Plan to Stop. I've been with my wife now since we were 16. She was my high school sweetheart and the only one I've been with. We got married shortly after college. She is my one true love, or so I thought. She's cheated on me several times. The first time was before we were married. She went away to Cancun on her bachelorette. She said she wanted to experience someone else before we got married. I forgave her. The second time was when she went on a girls' trip to Vegas. I wouldn't have even found out, but she gave me an STD. When I confronted her, she broke down in tears and said she got really drunk and isn't sure what happened. She said she doesn't remember and was taken advantage of. I felt bad for being mad at her, comforted her and forgave her. Then comes the thing that pushed it over the edge. My wife was asleep, but her phone kept buzzing. I was curious, so looked at her phone secretly. She doesn't know that I know her password. I felt sick at what I saw. It was her boss messaging her to meet him. Read their chat history and confirmed that they were sleeping together. It got worse. I found a Tinder account with hundreds of messages from men. She has been exchanging nudes and explicit videos. And the worst thing I found were videos of her with other men. She mainly used her Instagram to send pics and videos. I was disgusted as there are many pics of me on her page. I left the bedroom, threw up and slept on the couch. I had never felt as terrible as I did at that moment. I took her phone and transferred all the files, pics, videos, etc. to my laptop just in case I needed it for evidence of something. I asked her about it the next day and she calmly explained the situation. She said that she loves me more than anything, but she never got to experience what it was like to be single. She said that she is just having fun, it's just sex and it doesn't mean anything. I asked her how many men and she said, several. She said that I should let her do this because encouraged her to get married at such a young age. She still wants to be with me, but she wants to sleep around. She says it's a phase and it will pass. Needless to say, I left. That was about 6 months ago. I'm currently living at my parents', and it has been the worst 6 months of my life. I am so depressed and lonely. I miss her so much. I have her Instagram login and the messages haven't stopped. She's still having sex with other men. The messed up thing is I look at all the pics and videos that I took from her phone every day. About a week ago I get a text from her saying she misses me. We text back and forth, and we agree to meet for dinner. It was the most amazing time. I haven't felt this good since I left home. We went back home and cuddled in bed. She says how much she misses me and wants me to move back in. I asked her if she will stop sleeping with other men and she said she will, but not yet. She says she'll get it out of her system soon, but in the meantime she wants me back in her life and back home. I say nothing as being with her, cuddling her, feeling her warmth, smelling her was all too incredible at the moment. She asks me if I want her to be happy, and ultimately I do. I want her to be happy more than anything. So, I really want to move back home and try to make this work. But she has hurt me so much and I'm not sure I can get used to the situation. All I know is that the last 6 months have been the worst time in my life and the one evening I spent with her made me forget everything. I love her so much, but I don't know what to do. Can a situation like this even work? Divorce is a very scary thought for me. I don't even know what I'd do without her. A user in the comments said, I don't know exactly how to approach this. So, let me tell you a story. My dad had the same thing happen to him. He got with my mom in high school, moved out and joined the Navy to support them both, and she cheated on him with random dudes. He forgave her. She then cheated on him with his best friend. He forgave her, and did not forgive the friend. He was later cheated on, and they divorced. It was messy and heartbreaking. My dad slowly turned into an alcoholic, partly due to this, partly due to his son, my brother, dying, partly due to other stuff. The cheating ripped him apart. He loved my mom to pieces, but started to resent her, too. He couldn't deal with the cognitive dissonance of both loving her and not trusting her, and it ripped him apart. I watched him lose his mind over the years, and now it hurts to be around him. He's gotten better in many ways, but he still drinks heavily, and it has taken its toll on him. You are right around the age where my dad started drinking. Due to this exact thing, actually. You're ripped up at the moment, and I get that. It makes sense to be with her. You've been with her for years. You practically grew up with her. I get it. But you know, in your heart of hearts, that this isn't right. You know that this is ripping you up, and that you can't live with it. That's why you are here, asking about it. That's why you are having such trouble with the fact that you love someone who is okay hurting you so much, so often. She does not love you in the way you love her. She does not care about how this makes you feel. She will keep hurting you. She'll try to suck you back in the web with honey and lies. Maybe she actually believes her own deception. It doesn't matter. If she loved you, she would not be doing this to you over and over and over. You need therapy. You need a divorce attorney. You need to get out now and build yourself back up. Because I've seen the road you are going to go down if you stay. I am not exaggerating when I say that it will kill you. Slowly, painfully, until there is nothing left of you. Get out, now. Another user said, open relationships are a thing and can be healthy. However, this is not one of those. She's putting her wants ahead of your needs and openly disrespecting you and your feelings. She's a ducking cheater and has no remorse. You deserve better. You deserve better. No amount of couples therapy will fix this because she knows what she's doing and doesn't care. The first time you forgave her was the end of a relationship of equal partners full of respect. She took that as permission to crap on everything you guys have, and you've allowed her to continue. Divorce her. Nothing is worth this, and love is not enough to keep this going. Go to therapy by yourself and leave her in the dust. Good luck, man. I hope you find someone good for you. The next one is titled, Update, My Wife, 26F, Keeps Cheating on Me, 26M, and Doesn't Plan to Stop. Well, I did it. I told her that I don't think I can go back to her, but I feel like it was mistake. She was quite upset when I told her, and she asked to meet up again in the new year to talk, and I agreed. In the meantime, everyone in my life knows the situation. I've had some support from friends and my parents, and I guess that helps. I've had a consult with a lawyer as well. But I feel so lonely, especially during Christmas. I've been so lonely and depressed. I went to see an escort. I just wanted some intimacy. Well, I couldn't do it. I mean, I couldn't physically do it. She is beautiful, but all I can think about was my wife and that somehow it was wrong. We ended up cuddling and talking. It was nice. A few $1,000s later, and I've now seen her a few times, and she is amazing. She listens to me and my problems and makes me feel better slightly. We cuddle but no sex. Guess she's my pseudo-therapist. Also, tried dating an actual woman, got some hits on Tinder. Went on a few dates with some pretty and nice girls, but again all I can think of is my wife, so it doesn't go anywhere. Anyways, life is hard. I'm depressed and don't know how I'm going to get through this. Christmas is so lonely for me. I will be alone. My parents are in vacation. I still look at her Insta, and it looks like she is loving life, partying, etc. And yes, I still look at her explicit pics and videos. I don't know. I guess I'm messed up in the head. For now, I'm not intending on getting back together with her. The next one is titled, I, 22F. Just found out how my parents, 62M 50F, really met, and I need help. Basically, what the title says. I'm back home for the week due to a national holiday, and I was going through some old photo albums. I found a picture of my mom aged around 8 to 10 and some dude who looked just like my dad. I took the picture to her, and she confessed everything. The story they tell everyone is that they met when my mom was 18 and my dad 29 at a party hosted by a mutual acquaintance. They started dating a few months later, got married when my mom was 25 and had me 3 years later. I found out that my dad was the younger brother of a friend of my grandparents, the dude in the picture, and they actually knew each other since my mom was about 6 and my dad 18. They started dating when my mom turned 15, and because of that her parents kicked her out of the house and cut contact with her. I am so disgusted with everyone involved, but especially with my dad. How can I look him in the eye again knowing he probably groomed my mom from a very young age? How do you even find someone you knew as child attractive? Need advice. Edit. I can't reply to all, but know that I've read every single one of them. To answer some commonly asked questions. We are in a Western country in Europe, and we are all white. I haven't lived with my parents for over 3 years now, but growing up they seem to have a very healthy relationship. They both have successful careers, and my mom is not financially dependent on him. My grandparents passed away when I was 5, so I can't go to them for details. I'm not close to my uncle or my paternal grandparents, but I'm considering giving them a call. Thank you to everyone concerned about mine and my mom's well-being, physical, emotional and mental. I am already in therapy, but I will suggest it to my mom as well. A user in the comments said, I experienced the same thing with my parents as well. They divorced when I was 3, by the way. I always knew there was a bit of an age gap between my parents, but I finally asked my mom how their relationship started last month. But yeah, basically my mom is from ill, and she befriended one of my cousins on my dad's side since my mom would visit NY in the summer, which was when my mom was like 14 to 16. My dad was in his mid-20s at this time. She actually attended my dad's and his first wife's wedding since it fell on a summer when my mom was in town. So, my cousin invited my mom to come, with my dad's permission. My dad was planning on calling off the wedding, but since she got pregnant, they followed through. I think they were married for like 2 or 3 years before divorcing. Then I guess when my mom officially moved to NY when she was 18, she hit like the tail end of the marriage, and they ended up dating and then marrying within like 2 years, maybe less, I can't remember. But yeah, my dad knew my mom when she was 14 and friends with his niece. Super creepy. Another user said, I found out back in November of last year that my own mom was groomed by my dad. She was 14 and my dad was 24 at the time. It broke my heart when she told me. Her childhood was stolen, and my grandparents wanted my mom to be with him since he was a hard-working man. I can relate to what you're feeling up. I have mixed feelings about myself and who I am now ever since then. I have a hatred for my own father, and I can't believe they caused my mom so much pain. Even worse, my own father molested me when I was 8. All my mom said to me is that she's free now from him, and so am I. Make the best with the rest of your life. Don't ever get trapped in an abusive and toxic relationship. Breaks you down, and my mom didn't have independence until she was 26 from him. But now she's with my stepdad, who loves her unconditionally. The next one is titled, Update. I, 22F. Just found out how my parents, 62M50F, really met, and I need help. Hi everyone, sorry for the wait, but I thought I'd update you all. Firstly, thank you to everyone who responded and gave me advice. I really needed it. The first thing I did had a talk with my mom. I waited until my dad left the house and we both sat down and had a really good talk. I asked her if she was safe, if she was happy, and if they felt loved and cared for in their relationship. She said she does. I asked her if, should things go wrong, she would have money and means to get out of the relationship. She does. I expressed concern about how their relationship started. She said she understood if I needed some time to process, and that if I had any questions, she would answer them honestly. After my dad got home, I talked to him. I still am having troubles with my idea of him and who I found out he is. I don't think our relationship will ever be the same again, and he said he understood. I asked him to be honest with me and if he had any attraction towards small children or even teenagers. He said he doesn't. My mom was a kindred spirits sort of love. Last thing I did was give my uncle a call. He lives in a different country, and we talked for a bit. He said I am welcome to visit him anytime and I might take him up on it. He was there for my dad through the beginning of the relationship, so I will get some outside perspective. As for my grandparents, I asked my mom about it. and she said they had mended their relationship a couple of years before I was born. I don't have a lot of memories of them, but they always seemed very kind. I don't really have the emotional capacity to deal with them right now, so I will probably learn more in the future. Thank you, again, to everyone who has replied. Hopefully this update gives you all some sort of closure. I don't think my relationship with my dad will ever heal, but ultimately we both love the same person, my mom, and that will keep us together. I also want to say that grooming is never okay and that I don't want my parents' story to be a success story of a relationship between a grown adult and a teenager. To all the kids reading this, dating older people is never cool, even if they say you are mature for your age, or not like other girls, boys out there. If you think you are in a situation like this, tell a trusted adult or call the police. The next one is titled, Cheating Bipolar Girlfriend Acted Purely in Love Until the Very End. First, I am absolutely not looking to get back together with this girl. All that's left is bitter resentment, grief and vitriol hatred. What I'm wondering is if it's possible to truly love somebody you've cheated on, because that is how she has acted since cheating. She cheated on me the day after my 21st birthday, cheated on me again all after she would kiss me asleep and go out with her friend. She always told me how much she loved me. One time I got suspicious that she may have been cheating and she feigned the most skillful gasp of innocence, acting upset that I would ever ask. I broke up with her when I found she was abusing cocaine again. That night she wept her soul out, muttering, We have to be together, and, don't leave me, I need you. That night she tried to overdose and came very near to death before I got her to the ER. The next morning in the hospital she asked if we could still kiss, still have sex after the breakup. I politely said no, unknowing of her infidelity and sympathetic to her mental state. After we broke up she wrote me letters that she never would forget me and always wanted to be friends with me and my family. I told her roughly the same. This was before a week passed. My suspicions were alarmed that she and her emotional support friend who also has bipolar were dating. I tried to call her, text her, no answer, so I went over there. She told me meanly and remorselessly that she had been ducking him for 2 months we were together. She told me cruelly that he had made her finish, she always said she couldn't. I was castrated and in shock, she stole my manhood right there. She said when her mom died she just didn't care anymore and that I should have let her die. Our sex life had declined towards the end, but I continually offered sex. I worked 2 jobs on top of full-time university, so I would be exhausted each night. She nevertheless said she was on her period every time as she was highly irregular. I know she is in a clear manic phase of bipolar, but I will hate her for the rest of my life. Does some part of her love me, or is there a part of her that hates me? A user in the comments said, if she cheated on you, then she doesn't love you. Maybe she did at one point. Or maybe you made her feel good about herself, or she loved the way you loved her, and when that was no longer good enough she found someone else. But don't worry, her ego will never be filled, people like that will never be happy. Avoid her and don't give her the chance to weasel her way back. Another user said, your closure cannot come from her, it has to come from you. Your closure can't be reliant on questions about her feelings. Whether or not she loves you is irrelevant. Really, if she did love you it makes it worse for her, because that means she is capable of doing that to someone she loves. For you to move on, none of that has to matter. It's easier said than done, but any of these things that get in the way of you finding closure are only keeping emotionally entangled in this person, and you will likely never get an honest answer to some of these questions. And if you did, you wouldn't be able to completely believe them. Same goes for her bipolar disorder, you need to take any consideration of that off of the table. I have bipolar disorder and it doesn't excuse my actions. One of my favorite quotes is, mental illness is not your fault, but it is your responsibility. We are accountable for everything we do in our manic and depressive states. We make the choice to get treatment, or not. We make the choice to stay clean and keep a strict sleep schedule, or we make the choice to do drugs and maintain an erratic lifestyle that aggravates the disorder. All these choices we make, and their outcomes, are our responsibility. There are no excuses. I've said and done horrible things in my manic phases when I was younger. But I said them. I did them. Not my disorder. It's just a factor, not the whole equation. This is the difference between someone coping with bipolar disorder and someone who is using it as an excuse to be a terrible person. This is the end of the video. I hope you enjoyed the relationship stories. Please don't forget to subscribe to the channel, like the video and write a comment. I really appreciate your support and it helps my channel so much. Thank you.